Season 56, War number 5, and we're up against MIBR. This time my team will be Purgatory, Heimdall and Jean Grey. I will be taking Path 1 in Section 1, Path 1 in Section 2, then a Rintrah, Knull, Arnim Zola, and Serpent miniboss, and that will be it for this war. Now I will be only using Purgatory for the actual fighting. Jean Grey is for a synergy that allows Purgatory to start with the Mutant Soul ability active, which is Power Steal after the opponent's special attacks. Very useful for the Serpent miniboss coming later on. Then Heimdall's energy is also for the Serpent fight specifically, so that if any mistakes happen, I will have a safety net to fall back on. Starting off here we have an Adam Warlock on the personal space regeneration node, and this is a fairly simple Purgatory fight. The regen at the start will be a bit of a problem, but once I get the ramp up going, I get into Rampage, you will see my damage starts going very high, and as long as you just don't eat full combos, there's nothing Adam can really do to you. In this case, with the Mutant Soul ability, every single time Adam uses a special, I power steal some of his power, and when you power steal Adam Warlock, his passive power gain goes on cooldown for some time, so the power gain there, not really an issue, and even then the node doesn't boost it in any way, so it's not really all that difficult to deal with. Then we have a Wong on the Masochism Overtime node, and this matchup is not ideal. But because I needed to have the Jean Grey synergy for the Serpent, my options were either to bring Heimdall for additional safety net for the fight, or bring another champion to deal with this Wong. I decided that I can deal with the Wong using Purgatory, and well, it's not going too well. I got pushed into the corner, took a combo, almost pushed him to a special 3, but at this point the rest should be simple enough. I got the Rampage going, 2 special 2s, fight is done, and I will get the Mystic Soul from that as well. So now I have the Cosmic ability, allowing me to nullify buffs, and then I have the Mystic ability, allowing me to get a block regeneration effect whenever the opponent uses a special. Along with the Mutant Soul, of course. Then we have a Maestro here on the first fight in Section 2, Path 1, and there was a slight mistake on my part with this specific matchup. I didn't realize while reading the plan that this node now has the high energy diet node as well, which means I believe 99% energy resistance, and any energy damage I deal to the defender, they will heal back. So the problem here is every single hit that Purgatory has deals energy damage. So you can see I'm doing basically no damage whatsoever here. So all my damage in this fight comes from the special 2 degeneration as well as the tactic burst damage. Nothing else will deal any meaningful damage to this guy. So what normally would be an easy fight, fighting Maestro with Purgatory, is now a hell of a lot worse, because this is gonna take a while, and I'm gonna be taking a ton of damage from the I don't remember the name of the effect he has, the one that deals energy damage to you if you're close to him. As you can see, the damage is not that high, but this will be a long fight, and the longer it is, well, the more damage I will take. I can heal up some damage with the special 1, since it does have lifesteal, but since it is also doing energy damage, and the lifesteal is based on the hit damage it deals, it's not worth it. I just need to try to get out as soon as possible by spamming these special 2s. They're also getting a combo, not a good thing in a fight like this, where it's only a matter of time until I die or time out. I did not play this too well, but he is going down slowly but surely. Even though he is glancing, the glancing will not affect the burst damage from the tactic, nor the degen on the special 2, because special attacks cannot glance against Maestro's personal glancing effect at the very least. Now I got back to the Rampage, another special 2, again, the damage is regened basically instantly from the actual hit damage, but the degens are still very potent, so those are doing some work. And it's still well over half of the fight time left, so I will not have to worry about timing out here, but I gotta say I was fairly nervous when I started this fight and saw my damage. Anyway, he goes down from the degen during the special one here. I did get another Cosmic Soul here, if I had missed it from the Adam earlier, but even so, the Mystic Soul boost, or the Mystic Soul ability, not Mystic, Cosmic Soul ability, is not needed for the Serpent fight, because he is a Cosmic Champion himself, so you get the benefit of that anyway. Then we have a Nick Fury on the Buffet over time and Arc Overload nodes, and this fight is fairly simple for Purgatory. She will be able to nullify the regen or armor buffs here with the Cosmic Soul ability, and then, well, the damage she has here, since it's not gimped by the energy resistance, it's very high, as you will see in a second. One special 2, he's down to less than half. I get immediately up to another special 2, throw it, and that's the first life down, and I am still in Rampage. It has barely lost any duration, and now just bait special 1s, punish it for the tactic unblockable, go in, get as much damage in as possible. Special 2, that pushed me to my own special 3, I go for a medium to drain my own power, and then drop another special to finish him off and get the skill soul bonus as well, which is the passive slow. The passive slow for this war isn't really used anywhere, but still it is nice to have. It does make some fights a hell of a lot easier than they would otherwise be, but in this case, since I'm not fighting anyone who's gonna go unstoppable or evade, there's not really any need for it. Then we have a Rintrah here on the personal space regeneration miniboss node, along with, I believe this is root or rooted, so basically whenever the timer below Rintrah's health bar expires, if I'm close to the defender, I will get rooted, and if I'm far away, the defender will get rooted. The issue here is, and actually I was lying about the skill soul boost being necessary, the issue here is that whenever Rintrah gets rooted from anything, whether it be from his own abilities or from a node, like in this case, he will go unstoppable. So the skill boost here, having that passive slow, does actually come in handy, though hitting him while unstoppable is still not ideal, because he will regen some of the hit damage. Now, during his heavy spam while rooted, I can hit into him as long as I have the slow, but there it just didn't feel like worth it due to just how close he was to a special 3. This Rintrah is not awakened, so he's not gonna get any of those passive, or rather power gain buffs, but even then I just like to be careful and not push them too close to a special 3 if I can avoid it, especially when fighting Mystic defenders. Now the regen node here essentially does absolutely nothing. At the start of the fight, the opponent may trigger regens here and there, but the longer the fight goes on, the more the soul neutralize ramps up, and at 10, as you can see there, they basically have a 100% neutralize passive on them, so none of the regen buffs can trigger through it. Fight goes down, I managed to get the Mystic Soul there, which is also very useful for the Serpent, but not as needed as the Mutant Soul is. Then we have a Knull on the steady build up, unblockable, and one too many hits miniboss node, I believe, along with Power Snack, and I am gonna be taking this fight to Purgatory at this point. I believe I already said, but it should be obvious that I am taking all these fights with Purgatory instead of using unranked 5-star Heimdall or Jean Grey. Anyway, this fight, not ideal by any means. I'm gonna be honest, I forgot that he would start the fight unblockable, which is, yeah, totally my fault. To be completely honest, I haven't been exactly checking the plans as thoroughly as I should have been, but I am using Purgatory and she is amazing, so I should still be fine so long as I don't make any massive mistakes. So there, due to the first special one, I had reverse controls, so I just danced around, waited it out before doing anything else, just to be sure I don't make any stupid mistakes with my controls and get punished for it. Dropped the special 2 there, I didn't have the Rampage active, so my damage is lacking, But at this point I have the rampage on, he's down below 50%, I am somehow landing the special 1 full dexes, and now 1 more special 2 is at least gonna get him close. So I'm gonna wait for the timer to almost expire. I can't remember the name of it. The one he gets from the special 1 that reverses your controls and does all that. I waited for it to be almost ready to expire before throwing the special 2 so that I would avoid it. The same way you would avoid getting rooted by the root nodes. And I was able to use that properly, not suffer from the effects of the whatever timer it is called, and then finish the fight there with a full yellow bar as well, which was surprising considering how badly the fight started, or at least looked like it was gonna go. Then we have an Arnim Zola here on the Hazard Shift Incinerate and Shock miniboss node along with Aggression Prowess, and I am taking the fight with Purgatory. Now Purgatory is immune to Incinerate, but not Shock. So generally the idea here is that I just avoid hitting the defender during the Shock phase, and then during the Incinerate phase try to get in as much damage as possible. Now Purgatory's heavy attack is very good in punishing Arnim Zola's heavy attack for the knockdowns, but I clearly didn't practice it enough before going in here, because I am messing up the spacing quite a lot. Now it's fine if it happens like a few times in the fight, the guy doesn't really hit all that hard even if you do make mistakes, but it is still a war fight. This is a high ranked defender, it is better if I don't get hit due to stupid mistakes like that. So definitely practicing more should have been something for me to do beforehand, but I didn't. Regardless, the fight is going down relatively, well, easily I guess. It doesn't really do too much so long as you can keep knocking him down with heavies. With Purgatory, it's simple enough, but if you don't have a champion with proper spacing for the heavy punishes, this guy can be a real problem. In that case, your 2 options would be to either intercept with heavy attacks, which is not something many are comfortable doing, and also there is the option of reparrying him until one of your parries stick, because not all of his basic attacks are non-contact, but the main issue there is that that is AI reliant. If he doesn't throw the contact hits, you can't parry stun him, unless you're using a champion who can parry stun non-contact hits, which is also an option. Like Angela, for example, would work here, but due to the Fate Seal at the start, getting your buffs going to avoid the Hazard Shift would be a problem. Either way the fight goes down. I forgot to check if I got the Tech Soul. Even if I didn't, it's fine. It is just an armor break debuff, which is not really all that handy against a Serpent. Sure, it would mean more damage, but it's not needed. So here we have the scary fight of the whole season. A Serpent on 46, and we will see this placement a few more times throughout until we started seeing alliances experiment a little with different placements. So here, the Mutant Soul is the most important part of this whole matchup. It allows me to power steal the whatever remaining power Serpent has after his special attacks, and then gain that power back to Purgatory in a few seconds time. And as you can see, it's very useful in getting your specials going. I started off with a special 1 to get some of my ramp up going early on, to get into the rampage, because once you're in it, it's usually gonna last the whole fight against someone like a Serpent. So here I also did something that not a lot of people still know or do for whatever reason. You can actually dodge any contact hits, even in the corner, even if they disable your Dexterity Mastery, or even if you don't have the Mastery active, by simply dashing back at the correct moment. So I was able to avoid the special 2 there, even though he threw it while I was cornered, and it was unblockable. Now, at this point the fight has not gone exactly to plan. I did lose 2 of my invulnerability boost charges early on by getting hit. Did eat a special 3, which then of course I was able to tank due to the boost, but the second special 3, no such luck. The boost had run out, and one more special 3 at this point and I would be dead due to just how high this guy has ramped up. However, I do still have the Heimdall synergy as a backup. In this case though, it wasn't necessary. I'm able to finish out the fight without relying on Heimdall, and overall I didn't play it well, but Purgatory still did the fight well enough for me to consider her a better option than Spiral, for my own needs anyway. If I knew how to play Spiral as well as some people do, I think she might still be a bit stronger. However, I'll show you how this Serpent fight is supposed to be done with Purgatory later on this season.